We have 25,000 or more school kids a year that visit here for free school trip programs. Students that go to the WaterWorks exhibit, these are people, young people, that will be our future water stewards. So we hope to instill in them the importance of water, and we hope to encourage them to be our future stewards, and we also encourage them to be future scientists and technicians perhaps, and encourage some future innovation for water technology.
And the WaterWorks opening can't come soon enough to raise awareness of how understanding our water resources here in Southern Nevada can help visitors to create a ripple effect around the globe. A message we are working with our fellow water steward, One Drop Foundation, to share with guests.
One Drop does their work mainly in the developing countries, but we understand that in the desert climate of Las Vegas, that we need to continue to raise awareness for water issues. That's why One Drop has created a partnership with the Springs Preserve. One Drop has donated $1.25 million to the Springs Preserve so they can continue their educational, innovative programming for the youth.
So most of the funding for the project has come from the One Drop Foundation with a substantial contribution from the Royal Bank of Canada's Blue Water Project. And we've been working on the design of this program for quite some time. And fortunately right now we're actually in a design phase with the exhibit builders, and we hope to start installing exhibit components later this year. And we're planning right now for an early 2017 opening of the WaterWorks to the public.
And what better place than the Springs Preserve to share Las Vegas' story and showcase its considerable splash in overcoming the adversities of water scarcity in the desert.
The Las Vegas Creek and the original springs supplied all of the water for early Las Vegas. However, as Las Vegas grew, those water supplies became inadequate, and now, although water does not flow to the surface anymore, the property that surrounds the Springs Preserve is still really important to Las Vegas and the history of water in Las Vegas. And if you think about it, the Las Vegas Valley is enormous. We're pumping water from Lake Mead several hundred feet up in elevation all throughout the valley. And that takes a lot of equipment, it takes a lot of science, and it takes a lot of technology. Inside the WaterWorks exhibit, people will actually be able to get their hands on some equipment, some interactives that we have that will replicate what we do in our testing lab and in our water control room. So people will be able to play with different water scenarios throughout the valley, make some adjustments on the computer, and see what results they get.
And we think this hands-on approach will help guests get a real feel for all that it takes to get clean water to their tap, and that will inspire more thought about how water impacts families and communities worldwide.
We're going to talk about access to water. To date, there are still over 660 million people that don't have access to safe water. There's also 2.5 billion people that don't have access to adequate sanitation. We also want to talk about water delivery. If there is absolutely no access to water, how do they get water into the communities? Also for all of us to understand that we all truly are drinking from the same well. So to take care of our planet is really important. And obviously that message is always very clear here when you're in the beautiful Springs Preserve.
Drop by drop, we feel that we've already made waves in this wise water use community.
The people in Southern Nevada, the residents, have made some incredible efforts in reducing the amount of water they use. They've taken out their lawn, they're conserving water that they use indoors. The system that we have in place helps us to reuse, recycle, and return that water that's used indoor to the lake.
Because, like most great human movements, education and action can create a flood of good when it comes to solving the water problems of the present and future.
If we all come together, we can create a ripple effect, and we can really make a powerful change in creating access to safe water for everybody.